Muli Bwanji from Keswick Village. This is the Rorschach Malawi update from the 4th of March 2025. A quick summary of what's going down in Malawi. On Friday, the 28th, Simplex Chithyola Banda, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, announced that the national budget for the 2025-2026 financial year would be 8.5 trillion kwacha, which is $5 billion. He said it prioritizes the agricultural, health, education, infrastructure development, and social protection sectors. Most of the budget will go towards debt payments since the country's public debt is nearly 17 trillion kwacha, which is almost $10 billion. Other interesting developments are that the government interns will now receive a stipend of 150,000 kwacha, which is almost $90, or up from 80,000 kwacha, that is $46. The executive has reduced excise duties on cars and completely removed them from phones. It has also removed the value-added tax on bread and pastries to lower their prices. Check out the budget presentation in the link in the show notes. In more economic news, forex rates on black markets were soaring over the past few weeks. In our last episode, we mentioned that $1 was selling for over 5,000 kwacha. However, the rates miraculously went down just before the president faced the parliament, leading many to wonder if the forex shortage is really caused by external factors like the government has been saying. On Monday, the 3rd, local news reported that $1 was selling for 2,500 kwacha in the black market. They questioned how the forex situation fixed itself, but it seems they couldn't find or provide a logical answer. Next up, President Chakwera addressed the parliament on Wednesday the 26th for the presidential question time, so that he could answer pressing questions from members of parliament. An order paper from the parliament indicated that 5 key questions would be asked, but the MPs were allowed to ask supplementary questions. During the session, Chakwera blamed opposition parties for causing hyperinflation and influencing forex rates. He also accused them of tarnishing his State of the Nation address persona, which some local organizations called into question for asserting non-existent developments. Public commentary indicates that many were not impressed with Chakwera's inability to take accountability for his government's shortcomings. Public frustration with the government may be the reason why a recent poll by a local media house indicated that the Malawians are likely to vote for former President Peter Mutharika of the Democratic Progressive Party during the presidential elections this September. Malawi 24 ran an online poll for a week on Facebook and Twitter asking Malawians who they would vote for in the elections. When the poll came to a close on Friday the 28th, Mutharika got 62%. He was followed by the Liso Kambambi of the United Transformation Movement Party, who got 23%. President Chakwera scored a measly 10%. Although the poll caused interesting public discourse, it only got 40,000 votes out of the millions that are expected to vote in September, so it's not much to go by. Speaking of the elections, the Malawi Electoral Commission announced that they will start Phase 2 of the voter transfer exercise on Wednesday the 5th until Friday the 7th in several districts. Swangwani Wilfrera, the MEC Director of Media and Public Relations, said voters who want to transfer their registration should visit the registration center where they plan to vote in the presidential election. He said this exercise must be done now because MEC will not allow any transfers on the polling day or any other period after this exercise. The voter transfer plan comes in handy for voters who may have registered to vote in one district but ended up relocating to another before the elections took place. There's been a minor change to the cabinet on Wednesday the 26th. President Chakwera appointed Vitumbiko Mumba as the new Minister of Trade and Industry, replacing Sasin Gwangwe. Mumba previously served as the Minister of Labor. The president didn't say what happened to Gwangwe. However, some users on social media speculated that President Chakwera may have dropped him because of the vendor demonstrations in Lilongwe City in the central region that took place last week. Recall that vendors demanded that the prices of bales of used clothes be reduced. Unfortunately, Mumba has walked into a huge mess. Vendors from Blantyre City in the southern region held demonstrations against the high cost of goods in Limbe on Friday the 28th. Unlike the Lilongwe protest, those in Blantyre turned ugly as some protesters broke into shops and stole various items. They also placed huge stones on the roads, lit fires in various parts of the city, and threw rocks at vehicles. Aubrey Singaniyama, the Limbe police station spokesperson, said they have arrested 26 people in connection to the looting. He said they're still looking for more who took advantage of the demonstrations to commit crimes. Before his transfer to the Trade Ministry, Mumba had to answer to the media, who queried him on why the country's Israel labor deal had only exported 29 youths since last April. Malawi had agreed to send 3,000 by April 2026. Last year, the Israel and Malawi governments signed a labor exportation deal under which thousands of Malawians would be sent to Israel for work until April 2026, when the agreement will expire. Mumba told local media that they would send nearly 40 women to Israel soon, but said Israel was reluctant to recruit more Malawian workers since most of the men who were recruited earlier had either sought asylum or ran away to work elsewhere. In previous shows, we reported that President Chakwera hosted his first zona for youths at the State House in Lilongwe. While it received both public and media backlash, he went on to host his second zona for youths at the Senika Palace in Blantyre on February the 28th. This time, even though the government vetted questions, youths broke protocol and asked relevant questions about corruption, delayed projects, inflation, foreign currency challenges, among others. The third Sona for youth will be held in Zuzu City in the northern region on Wednesday the 5th. Malawi commemorated Martyrs' Day on Monday the 3rd under the theme, The Martyrs, a great model of patriotism. It was a national holiday. The commemorative honors the lives lost during the country's struggle against British colonialism. There is special focus given to 51 Malawians who were killed on the 3rd of March in 1959 at Nakata Bay district in the northern region. President Chakwera visited Kukumbi Cemetery, where he laid wreaths at the mass grave of the deceased, and then proceeded to the memorial pillar of Nakata Bay Jetty to lead Malawians in laying wreaths in respect to lives lost across the country. This year's commemoration was a bit different because there was, for the first time ever, a commemorative shutang cloth, also known as the African print material. A local arts company, Mowizi Arts, launched the International Festival Theatre Renaissance Cabaret, or TRC. The first event will happen from the 21st to the 27th of July in Lilongwe, with lots of activities. According to the festival team, the TRC aims to bring together Malawian artists and the global theater community. They hope that by connecting local enthusiasts with international productions, the festival will foster cultural and artistic growth while elevating Malawi's presence on the world stage. They are accepting applications from theater companies and groups worldwide until Sunday the 9th. Locals can also look forward to the Miss Malawi pageant, which went on a 2-year break. Its organizers, the Miss Malawi organization, said the event would make a comeback on the 28th of November. Godfrey Kambuya, the festival's creative director, said they would incorporate online applications, which will be followed up by in-person interviews. They will select at least 30 contestants every pre-elimination event in July, and then proceed to select the top 12 who will compete in the grand finale. The competition is open to Malawian women aged between 18 and 29, who have never been married, have no children, and hold at least a Malawi school certificate of education qualification. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But don't worry, subscribing to the Rorschach Malawi update is absolutely free. By subscribing, you can help us grow and keep making the updates that you love. Listen to our updates on your favorite podcast platform. Pitani Bueno!